Hello everyone, welcome to this session. We're in new chapter. So far in our previous video, we discussed about the simple machines, and the previous we covered the hydraulic press. We saw its structure, how to calculate the mechanical advantage, the ratio, and the efficiency of it, and we saw the various applications of the hydraulic press. So today let's move on to the new chapter that is we're talking about the motion in straight line. So motion in straight line, this is a new chapter, and we'll start simply with introduction to motion in straight line. So this is the subtopic within this chapter. We'll start with the concept of motion. What do we mean when we say motion? Motion, this is the change of position of an object from one place to another. So when an object changes its position from a given place to another is what we call motion. Now, it is the study of the movement of a body from one place to another. So you can also say that motion is just a study or observation of the movement of the body from one point to another. It studies all the aspects of motion, including the distance and displacement, speed and velocity, acceleration and deceleration. So when we're talking about motion, it looks and observes the various aspects related to it, such as the distance, the displacement, speed, velocity, acceleration, deceleration, etc., etc. Now, let's move on to the types of motions. Here are just some of the types of the motions. There are two types of motions which we'll be discussing. The first one is circular motion. Circular motion, this is the motion of an object in a circular path. So, observation of movement of an object in a circular path is what we call the circular motion. Take an example, motion of electron around the nucleus of an atom, revolutionary movement of the earth around the sun, motion of the car around on a road. So, this is what we call the circular motion. And the second one, that is the linear motion. This is the motion of an object in a straight line path. So when an object moves in a straight line path is what we call uh, that kind of a motion is what we call the linear motion. Examples: a fruit falling from a tree, or a stone thrown vertically upward, or a bus moving along a straight road, etc., etc. The examples are just kinds of the linear motions. Now, let's see this aspect of motion. Here we'll be talking about the distance and the displacement. From there, we'll see the difference of these two, the distance and the displacement. Starting with that, the distance, this is the length between the 2 points or two places. So the distance or the length covered from 2 points or two places, what we call the distance. It is the length covered by body in motion. So a body in motion covers certain kind of length of that length covered is what we call distance. The distance is a scalar quantity because it has magnitude only. So the distance only has magnitude, that is the amount observed within a given length covered. And for example, a car moved 4 kilometers. 4 kilometers, this is the magnitude of the distance covered by such kind of a car. Now, when you're talking about the displacement is the length between the 2 points in the specific direction. So the length given or observed or moved when an object moves about 2 points in a specific direction is what we call the displacement. So displacement has a specific direction compared to the distance that has no specific direction shown. So it is simply distance covered by a moving body in a specific direction. So that's what is displacement. Displacement is a vector quantity because it has a magnitude in a direction. So here you can have the difference among these two, or between these two, the distance and the displacement. Distance just the length covered by an object from one point to another, while the displacement is the length covered between 2 points in a specific direction, and you can say the distance is a scalar quantity while the displacement is a vector quantity. So, for example, when we're talking about the displacement, a car moving through 4 kilometers towards north, 4 kilometers the magnitude of the displacement in the north, this is the direction of the motion of the car. So here you have the kind or the meaning of the displacement. And the displacement, here they just mean two of them, that distance, we are talking about the length moved by an object between 2 points, while displacement, this is the distance in a specific direction. And the distance, this is the scalar quantity, while the displacement, this is the vector quantity. So that's all I have for this session. I hope that's clear. We've discussed this new chapter. We've started seeing the meaning of motion and the types of motion, and we've later move on to the one criteria of motion, that is distance. We've discussed the difference between the distance and the displacement. I hope that's clear. Thank you.